This video is your secret crystal ball to what is going to happen in the world by the year 2030. This is the crystal ball, this plant that looks more like a chia pet.
Chia.
It's a crystal chia pet. It tells me the future.
Makes a great gift for everyone.
2030 is gonna be here faster than we know it, and the world's gonna look a little bit different when we get there. How though? And if we know how the world is gonna change based on trends that are happening now, could we plan for it as entrepreneurs and especially as investors? If you can see where the puck is going, then you put yourself in a position to be able to plan for it and make business decisions and investing decisions that put you in a really good spot by the time we get to 2030. So in this video, we're gonna go through what the country and the world looks like in the year 2030. The first big thing that is gonna happen in the next couple of years, and I would bet the farm on this one. Actually, I would buy the farm. What? Because the first thing that's gonna happen in the next few years is there's going to be a big boom in rural America. Arkansas, Alabama, Montana. These areas are going to explode by 2030. Here's why. We're remote now, and we're not putting that cat back into the bag.
Get in the bag, good cat. Oh my God.
People now can work and live anywhere, and there's going to be a massive demand out of cities to places where you can get a lot of land, it's cheap, and it's warm. That's where people are going to want to be over the next decade. So if you look at Arkansas, where you can buy 100 acres for the price of a VCR, you're gonna have a lot of people that come out of New York City and are like, wait a minute, I can have a river and I can have view of mountains and 100 acres and no neighbors for $19. I want in. If I had nothing else going on right now, I would be buying up large acres of land in those areas. So look for a big land boom in the coming years. And my previous prediction is finally coming to be true, which is that people will self-organize into communities, buy up land, and they will basically say, we're taking all our best friends with us and we're gonna build our own community and build a compound. That's happening all over the country now. I want to build one myself, and there's gonna be lots of that going on, which will put increased prices on rural America. So these untapped areas of the country are about to get tapped. And I think what you might see is that rich people live in the middle of nowhere and poor people live in the cities, which is the opposite of right now. Look for that to flip in the next decade. Number dos, the next thing that's gonna happen in the next 10 years is we're going to stop obsessing about what group we're a part of, and there's gonna be much more of a focus on the individual. Right now, the narrative that we have is about what group you belong to. What race are you? What orientation are you? What nationality are you? We see the world through that lens right now. The next generation ain't gonna jive with that. They will go the opposite direction. We're already starting to see people push back against being labeled for what group they belong to and asked to be seen as individuals. But as the next generation matures, that will be the societal narrative. And we'll take that to its extreme as well. If you've ever read the book Pendulum by Roy Williams, he argues that the world goes through these swings between being me obsessed and being we obsessed. That's obsession over what group you belong to and obsession over who I am and who that person is. And the extreme of the self-centered perspective is hero worship. It's putting athletes on a pedestal, putting influencers on a pedestal. It's saying they've got it all figured out and I don't have it all figured out. Right now, we see big organizations talking about groups. That will end in the next 10 or so years. It'll be more hyper-focused on the individual until we take that to its logical extreme and people are lonely and they feel isolated and we get tired of worshiping people and people start to organize into other groups again. That's how society tends to progress, and that's what we'll see in the next 10 years. The third thing that you will see happen in the next several years is many more micro businesses doing the exact same things that big businesses are doing. We're gonna go through a period in which small businesses have the same output as big businesses. We see this already happening with autonomous organizations. Crypto has made it possible for a group of 6 people to create something that has billion-dollar valuations, multi-billion-dollar valuations, and they're not even really owned by anyone. The ownership is distributed among thousands, even millions of users. So the collective market share of that business could be worth $10 billion, which is the same as a lot of publicly traded companies, but it'll be a group of 6 people. You're gonna see a lot more of that. We've already seen this trend happen in e-commerce. E-commerce businesses do hundreds of millions of dollars with teams of less than 100 people, whereas before that would be a massive company. Now it's becoming even smaller, where a team of 10 can have a $100 million business because they just sell on Amazon, they sell on Shopify, they run Facebook ads, and they have one Amazon manager, one Facebook ads manager, and one Shopify manager. That can be a $100 million business. The beauty of that is that any entrepreneur today can start a business without having to have a big organization. You can raise capital, have a few partnerships with agencies, and hire a couple people and have a really successful business. We call this the owner's model. It's actually the foundation of what we teach inside of our capitalism incubator, because you don't need to have an executive team. You don't need to have shareholders. You don't need to have a big team of people doing everything, and you don't need to be doing everything. You need a few partnerships in order to build a really successful business. And especially if your goal is just to make like a few $1,000,000 so that you can be free, you really don't need a big team anymore. You can do it with a very small core group of people that could even be outsourcers and agencies. Which leads me to my next point. This cat's already out of the bag.
Hold on, bud.
The freelancer economy, that is sticking with us. I've said for years, my daughter, who is 6 now, will probably never have a job. My daughter will just seek creative work. She'll create a riff on GarageBand and upload it to Spotify and make $1,000 a month in royalties. And that'll be enough for her to couch surf or rent rooms all over the world, which freaks me out as a dad, but excites me as a young person who loves that lifestyle. You'll be able to backpack across the world and you won't own anything and you'll freaking love it. And that lifestyle will be available to every young person that doesn't have the baggage of our generation that thinks you have to work somewhere or you have to produce something.
Did you see the memo about this? Yeah.
Man, there's so many opportunities to make money. There's so many. And I mean, it will get to the point where you take a little bit of your savings and you invest it into a couple startups, which are actually just cryptos at that point, and they boom and you have enough money to do whatever the heck you want. And that will be how a lot of people make money. There's this stupid meme that I hate that goes viral on Facebook once a year or so that says, we shouldn't have to work. One person can come up with an invention that makes enough money to pay for the rest of us. And I'm like, that's the dumbest, most entitled thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's already happening, so what the hell are you complaining about? Like, that happens today. It happens. Jeff Bezos starts a company that goes to a $2 trillion market cap, and people put their money into it on something called the stock market, and they all get rich, and that can out-earn everything they've ever done in their life. But that's gonna happen even more as autonomous organizations open up and as you have more technologies for really any company to be public from its get-go. I mean, right now we already see SPACs that are in the Wild West right now, but you'll see more opportunities for the everyday investor to get a part of new innovations that are happening, whether it's in crypto or SPACs or the stock market. We're gonna have lots of opportunities to make money, to invest. Just like my daughter, you'll upload something to GarageBand, it'll go viral. Hell, I'm making a video for you right now on YouTube, and they pay me a little bit of royalties from the amount of ads that they can run on this video. There's just gonna be so many opportunities to make money that the next generation will own nothing, travel the world, and be really happy doing that. Let's talk about politics real quick, because a lot of my friends are concerned about infringements on freedom of speech, on government spying on us losing our civil liberties. I don't see it. I don't see it happening now or in the future. And here's why. Anytime there is a threat on personal freedom, there is stronger pushback against it. We as human beings do not like having our freedoms taken away, especially right now. So there's always pushback against it. So government expands, it is what it does, but so does personal freedom, and they push against each other. So you will probably see government expand, but I think its foothold on our lives is shrinking because we have more opportunities to be free than we've ever had. You can start your own currency if you want. You can buy up 100 acres and start your own town if you want. Like, we have so much freedom. And I think that as we become more individualized, we'll have people who just want to have a little farm and have solar panels and are off the grid, and government doesn't have a foothold in their lives as much. I think you will have more control over your own life because we will opt out of the system and have more opportunities to be able to control our own lives. And finally, who will be the president in 2030? Easy. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
He's gonna run and he's gonna win.
Are you serious?
Totally serious. All right, so those are my predictions for 2030. Which one do you think is most outlandish? I know I'm gonna get hate in the comments. I just want you to know I love when my haters post in the comments and tell me that I'm an idiot about something. So I'm already excited in the anticipation of seeing where you think that I am an idiot. My name is Ryan Daniel Moran. I run capitalism.com, and that's what I think is gonna happen by 2030. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.